Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Mail. So for today, I'm going to go over this great email I was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy, he's in his late 40s, I think he's 48. He is happily divorced, and he is celebrating his 1 year of freedom since officially it was over. And let me tell you, he absolutely admits that he hasn't been this happy in a long time. Our guy here, as you will see, got married relatively young, had kids young, and pretty much ever since the kids were born, to his wife, who he once thought he had a good thing with, he was nothing more than a paycheck, a chauffeur, a babysitter, that type of thing. And although he loves his kids and loved them through the whole time, eventually he realized enough is enough. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life like this. And oh yeah, he wasn't getting any very much, I might add. And finally one day he said enough's enough, and he ended with her, and you're going to hear all about that. And I thought it'd be a very good one to go over here for all you guys watching this right now, wherever you are. If you're married and your story, your life sounds like what you're about to hear, really understand it. At the end of the day, it's up to you to make a choice whether you want to keep living this unhappy life or do something about it. Our guy here clearly stayed married to his wife far longer than he should have. He obviously did it for the kids, and now that he has a fresh shot at life, he's doing great. And you can do it too. Again, this is after you've tried constantly and realized there's other options. Guys, you got to take care of yourself. Nobody's going to come and take care of you and save you. You got to do it for yourself. And you'll see in the story, he is so much happier. But before I get into the story, guys, if you haven't done already, come check me out, the men's community over on Patreon or Locals. A bunch of you guys have come over there every day. More and more guys are showing up. We're having a good time talking, sharing memes and videos and all that type of thing. You go over there, you can become a free member and see what it's all about. Or you can become a paying supporter and get all the good stuff. Exclusive videos, 2 to 3 a week. My stuff before it hits YouTube, commercial free. And the ability to chat with each other and me in a censorship-free environment, unlike over here. So check it out. I think you'll like what you see. And the link will be at the top of the comment section. All right. He says, hey, SSM. I've been following your channel since early 2024 when I came to the conclusion that I could not keep living my life the way that I have. After close to a year listening to countless stories about married guys whose lives sound a lot like mine and planning my escape, I decided enough was enough and ended my very unhappy marriage. Good for you, man. I'm glad you didn't take it anymore. It's unfortunate you spent so many years unhappy. I'm happy to say that my personal Independence Day was 1 year ago, when the divorce was finalized, and my life has been so much better. Before I report on just how much better it has gotten and how my ex's life is going, I'm going to give you guys a summary of what led me down this path. Alyssa and I were married in 2002. I was 24 years old at the time, and she was 23. He says, I know, smack. Yeah, smack. You got married 24? She was 23? I mean, I know it happens. I know it's not like you were 19 or anything, but still. We both come from very conservative families, so this seemed normal. We did not waste any time in having kids and had our first, my boy, in 2004, and then my daughter in 2006. While we certainly had a lot of fun when we were kids, when we were young, and loved each other, or so I thought, once we had both kids and when they were born, things quickly went downhill and kept going downhill until I pulled the plug. Bro, your story is not rare. It is quite common. You get married, everybody has high hopes, or at least the guy does. The children are born, and then, boom, that's it. It's all about the kids. The husband still wants to have fun in many ways, but the wife, a lot of times, nope, it's all about the kids now, and you come last. Let me be clear, I love both my kids, but I do wonder sometimes what life would be like if I never married. Some people may judge me negatively for saying that, but there isn't one guy who's divorced, walking the earth, who's never thought that at one time or another. Yeah, I've heard lots of guys say, I love my kids, but... and they talk about their crappy marriage to their wives. Remember, guys, at least, no matter what, you get your kids out of the crappy marriage. Well, as things usually go, very quickly our lives became all about the kids, then the parents, her parents mainly, extended family, the dogs, and last us. And when I say us, more specifically me. So that was the order of importance that you became to her. I really seen that once my wife got her kids, which she always wanted, I was no longer of any use to her other than a paycheck. a babysitter, or a chauffeur. Oh, and obviously, and absolutely no surprise, we hardly ever had you-know-what. Shocker. I think the only reason we actually had it now and again was that she was smart enough to realize if I didn't get any every once in a while, I would eventually bail. So she gave me just enough to stick around. In hindsight, it was obvious, but I suppose I didn't want to accept it at the time. Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure it probably wasn't that good. You can just tell. She wasn't putting any enthusiasm. Oh, I'm sure she was all kind of freaky when you're making the kids, because that's what she really wanted. But once she had what she wanted, I was like, okay, let's just get this over with. Anyhow, this is pretty much how the rest of our marriage went until I decided to pull the plug. Of my many mistakes, I will say, thank God I had the strength not to give up on my friends or stop doing the things that I enjoyed during the marriage. But believe me, Alyssa tried to get me to do that many times, lecturing me about spending more time with the family, and ultimately it was about control and boxing me in. He says, gentlemen, never give up your friends or your hobbies for your wife or girlfriend. I've seen this happen way too many times, and it is tragic. It never ends well for the guy. This happens all the time. And it isn't just with marriages, too. Guys get in relationships, and what do? They start blowing off their friends, stop hanging out with their friends. If they like playing the drums, they stop playing the drums. They like playing golf, they stop playing golf, lifting, whatever. You can't do that, guys. You got to have your own freaking life. And if she's trying to push you away from that stuff, you got to seriously question your relationship. So moving ahead to 2024, when I found your channel, we had been married for close to 22 years. Oh, man, 22 years, yeah, smack. You stuck around that long, been that unhappy, man. I know why you did it, but 22 years. It's a prison sentence. I just turned 46, and with my son out of the house at school and my daughter about to graduate high school, like many unhappy men, I was thinking about the rest of my life. I could imagine that it would be like I would be staying in this dead marriage without the kids as buffers. I started looking on YouTube for men's channels and men's content and found yours and a couple other channels. I started listening to marriage stories similar to mine. I could not believe there are so many unhappy guys out there whose lives sounded so much like mine. Yeah, I hear this all the time from you guys saying it makes you feel better knowing you're not alone. Even though you don't wish these things on other guys, at least you know you're not alone. You're not crazy. After about 6 months of listening to probably close to 1,000 of your videos, I decided I was done being this unhappy, and I was finally going to start taking care of myself for a change. I can honestly say that during our marriage, I really did try. I mean, sincerely try on multiple fronts over the years with my ex. She just had zero interest in anything romantic with me or being a couple. Of course, she would F me on occasion, but believe me, it wasn't that great. Oh, she was effing you all right, but not necessarily exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, she was clever enough. She was enough common sense in her head to give you just... Essentially, you were getting breadcrumbs. You were getting table scraps of pussy to keep you around just enough, but it couldn't have been that good. You know, you didn't mention about what she looks like, so I'm assuming because you didn't mention that, she probably looks decent for her age, that she didn't balloon up like a cow or something like that. But even then, there was obviously nothing there. Well, finally, after the kids went back to school in January 2025 is when we had the talk, or I will say I did the talking. I told her it was over and best we part ways. I did everything I could to keep the conversation civil. Yeah, sure. Saying that we raised great kids, but if we're being honest with ourselves, we had been, things had disappeared a long time ago. I said I wanted both of us to have the opportunity to find happiness once again. If you really thought I was going to go civil, I got a bridge to sell you. Well, as you can imagine, that did not go over very well. She looked shocked, or she acted like she was shocked. She started with the waterworks, Hobag Handbook Chapter 2, and said that she was hoping that now we have a chance to start over. Yeah, right. She said that she always loved me, but it was so hard with the kids. Again, yeah, right. That's bullshit. Come on. That's just insulting your intelligence. I have seen some marriages where the couples actually love each other throughout my life. It's extremely rare. I've seen that, but I've seen it. And believe me, kids are a handful, but the couple still cared about each other. Well, I've been prepared for all this thanks to your videos and my lawyer. As much as I didn't want to come off harsh or provoke her into going to war, I had to be firm with her that it was all over. That's when the waterworks abruptly stopped and the ugly began. Yeah, see? Here we go. Now the claws and the fangs are coming out. She would say that I would be miserable on my own. You've been miserable with her. What woman would want a nearly 50-year-old man and that only she could ever love me? If that's her version of love, no thanks. I'll be on my own. And what woman would want a almost 50-year-old man? You'd be surprised. Guys that have their shit together aren't going to have a problem. That she would replace me in a heartbeat. That lots of guys check her out and flirt with her, blah, blah, blah. Now we can definitely speculate. You know, I mean this. If she ain't getting it from you, she's getting it someplace else. All these years. I mean, if she looks good for her age, you know, and she's claiming guys check her out and flirt with her, who knows? I mean, it's in the past, but still. And now it's coming out. Well, that was the longest day of my life. Fortunately, I was prepared for it and had a place to stay at my brother's house for as long as I wanted. I wanted to point out that prior to D-Day, I had covertly removed all the necessary documents, paperwork, etc. at my brother's house. I also took care of the bank accounts, etc. to play it safe. Good. Very good. Because obviously you weren't going to stick around and you don't want to have to come back, you know, and be like, I can't find my freaking birth certificate. I can't find my social security card. I can't find copies of the tax return. Oops, I don't know where it went. You got to get that shit out if you're planning to leave. After I left the house, I immediately called the kids. I wanted to do it in person, but they were both out of state for school. This was on a Saturday, so I knew that they would not be in school. They were both naturally upset and surprised, but surprisingly mature about the whole thing. I was as truthful with them as I could be and answered all their questions. I made it clear that it wasn't their fault, and both their mom and I loved them very much. Again, that was the longest day of my life. I'm glad immediately, boom, the kids. You know, you had to make it clear because you didn't want to wait a day because she was probably trying to call them when you were calling them, you know? And I'm glad they handled it well. I mean, they could have been that surprised, you know, not seeing a whole lot of love in the house, but who knows? I'm just glad that they were good with you. After my D-Day, it was the usual divorce bullcrap. I controlled the narrative as best I could, but at the end of the day, I was the guy divorcing her. To my knowledge, she never cheated on me or had affairs. Her remarks about getting guys and guys flirting with her did not go unnoticed. Dude, you just never know. I mean, doing this long enough, she probably did, but was so good at hiding it. I mean, maybe she did. I don't know. I hope she didn't. Apparently, more than a few of her divorce friends were already eagerly trying to get her to revenge day and make up for lost time. The great part was I didn't care. I couldn't care less who she dated or if she was the town bicycle. Knowing how she was in the sack and how her personality made her the ice queen, she was their problem. Well, that's good, man. You were totally indifferent. All you wanted was to get the hell out of that marriage. Whatever she did in the past, whatever she's going to do now or in the future, you don't care. It's not going to be your problem. Anyhow, so my Independence Day came on August 18th, 2025. Okay, happy anniversary. Today's August 22nd. I cannot begin to articulate how free I felt. Sure, I had lots of regrets, but I'm getting a second chance. To no one's surprise, she got a better deal than a divorce. Nope, nobody's surprised here, but obviously you just wanted to get out of there. However, I just wanted out and really did not care. She got to stay in the house that we had for nearly 20 years. She also got more of the cash asset since I make more money. However, because the difference in our incomes is not that great, I use that to get out of alimony. Now I don't have to mail her a check every month. Well, that's great, man. You're free of her. And I don't know how, you didn't mention how she is with money, but statistically women are far worse than men with money. So even if she, in the short term, made out more financially, you know, you're going to end up on top. Guys are generally, and if you're not, well, start being more frugal, but I'm sure you are. I eventually ended up buying a nice single-family home about 25 minutes away from my old house. It's big enough that the kids can stay, but not too big enough that I have to put an insane amount of time maintaining it. My previous house was very big, thanks to our families giving us a massive cash gift on our wedding, and took a lot of my time maintaining. He says, side note, guys, big houses are great, but be aware there's always something going wrong or needing maintenance. Think about this before you buy the big dream house. Yeah, absolutely. Anyhow, the day after the divorce was completed, I had scheduled a camping trip with some of my old friends. There you go, nice celebration. We reminisced about everything, and I made a list of many things I want to accomplish now that I'm single. By doing so, they would hold me to it. Well, those are good friends. As an example, I wanted to drop about 20 pounds, put on or gain back more muscle, do some traveling, read some good books, learn some new skills, etc. I'm proud to say that 1 year later, I have accomplished all that. That's great, man. Good for you. You're on your purpose. Feels good to have a purpose again, have goals, ambitions that don't involve your freaking wife. I also made a point of being on my own for at least a year to really recharge after 20 plus years of my ex. He says, guys, there is no rush. Don't get out of one bad relationship and jump into another. Yes, that's what women do. They don't deal with the problems. That's why they always say, oh, get back on that horse, or get back out there, get on the dating apps. Don't take that advice. You break up after a long time or get a divorce, be on your own for a while. There's no rush. I mean, some guys, they're family guys. They want a girlfriend, or some are crazy enough to want to get married a second time. You have two kids, you've been married half your life. There's no reason to get married again. It's crazy. And if you want to get some ass, okay, fine. That's one thing, but doesn't mean you got to get married again. I can now say that I am the happiest I've been in a long time. I do miss seeing my kids, but then again, they're young adults in school, and I wouldn't see them often anyway. During the summers, they split time between me and my moms or their little vacations. They handled everything really well and did not affect their schoolwork. I'm happy to say that they are going to school for sensible degrees, and no, my daughter is not being sucked into the feminist brainwashing of most college campuses. Well, good for you. Good for her. Good for you. Good for all that. Last but not least, my ex-wife. Oh, here we go. Yeah, what is she doing, miss? I get checked out by guys all the time. Naturally, she did what most women do after the divorce and try to behave like a horny teenager. According to a few mutual friends I have left, she's been on the dating apps quite often and has been seen out with different men around town. Who knows what will happen or if she'll remarry. I really don't care. That's good you don't care. But of course she's out there. Of course. All I know is whoever she ends up with will learn, just like I did, that the good times will not last forever. The Ice Queen will return once she has him. After 20 plus years with her, I can say that she will be some other sucker's problem. Well, you were that sucker for a long time, man. I'm not saying it to be a jerk, but I know you know this and you have a sense of humor about it, but hey, at least you got out, you know? You're not even 50 yet. You're close to my age. You're a free man. I'll just be waiting around to see if she actually comes back. We shall see. Yeah, dude, I mean, if things aren't going well, they always come back. You may get her showing up someday, or oh, I'm dropping off the kids, even though the kids are adults and don't need to be dropped off. Some stupid excuse to start talking to you again and putting on the charm. Don't fall for it, but I'm sure you won't. Anyhow, once again, SSM, a big thank you to you for doing what you do. Your stories really help guys know that they're not alone in this world and give us the strength to get through the difficult times. If you're ever visiting South Carolina, let me know. I owe you a lot of beer. And he says, P.S. I also got the dogs. Good. I was wondering about the dogs when I first read this story. Well, man, better late than never, but it would have been nice if, you didn't have to be unhappy that long. At least you have, I'm assuming, we're all hoping and assuming those are in fact your kids. Hopefully they are, and, you had them, and obviously you love them very much, and you got a good thing with them. That's great. You got a second shot at life. That's great. Enjoy it. And obviously you haven't rushed into dating, let alone a relationship, so there's no rush. But a lot of pretty gals in South Carolina, a lot of ugly ones too, but a lot of pretty ones there, and a lot of them are very feminine. I visited Charleston last September. I loved it there, man. It was great. A lot of pretty, I was amazed how many young pretty girls were there walking around in the city where I was at. You didn't see them covered with tattoos or, the usual stuff I saw up north in Massachusetts. A lot of them were very feminine and friendly and good-mannered, So it's a nice environment for you. But don't be fooled. Don't get roped into marriage number 2. Just be on your own. You're going to date, you want to get some fine, but just be careful. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you got a great story you want to share, send it my way, strongsuccessfulmail@gmail.com. And if it's a good story, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.